Hello, and welcome everybody to the Ryco Friday Night Top Split. I'm Sheldon Atkins, joined in the booth by Curtis White and producer Austin Derbyshire. Tonight we got 30-plus drivers taken to the progressive banks here at Homestead-Miami, one of the most badass tracks on the circuit, if you ask me personally, with so many different options to drive in so many different lanes, and we are going to be in for one heck of a treat tonight. And Curtis, how you feeling tonight, man? How do you feel about Homestead?
I'm feeling pretty good, and I appreciate you guys letting me in here. Don't know what I'm gonna be in for, but I'll tell you, this is one of my favorite tracks on the service in general. I did a race last night in the B car. Not quite the next gen with how those things drive, but I tell you, this is a very fun track, and you can make either the bottom or the top work. Definitely looking forward to seeing some great racing here tonight.
Yeah, great racing. We saw, we were expecting a really close battle Monday night, but man, it was a Garrett Maines walk-off from the field. But here we are going into the GridVision broadcast picks for the night. Me personally, man, I got to go with, I've been joking on him for the past couple weeks, calling him the third and second place ace. I got to go with Nicholas Vroman. I feel like tonight he's finally going to kick that out the door. Who you got for us, Curtis?
I've been looking through this entire list, and the one that sticks out to me the most, and I don't really know a whole lot about some of these drivers. I mean, you mentioned Vroman. I'm aware of how quick he's been. Garrett Maines, he's a pro guy, but I'm telling you, I'm looking at that Sean Conklin, that number 5 car, starting on the pole at a 32.3. He looks like he's got a really fast hot rod tonight, and I think he's going to be able to keep it up there.
Sean Conklin, a great pick. Our producer going with Quentin Warman, so keeping it for the home team tonight with Ryco. But here we are getting into our starting grid for the evening. Starting off on the pole is going to be your pick, Sean Conklin. And hang on, let me get my grid straight here real quick. Second place is going to go to Patrick Gitter, followed by Adam Benefiel in third. Fourth is going to be Johnny Baldridge with J.R. Barberama in fifth. Sixth is going to go to Pedro Palladino, followed by Nicholas Vroman in seventh, with Derek Heitman, Roger Pierce, and Alex Murray rounding out your top 10.
You got row number 6. You got Matt DiCiani in the number 11 next to him, Clayton Hoffman. Row 7, Paul Hill and Nicholas Padovich. Pedro D. Oliveira S. And Garrett Maines starting 16th in the number 1. Then you got Shane P. Davis, James R. Houghton, Miller Bonds, John Whitendorf. That is your top 20.
In 21st place, we got Trevor Baxter, followed by Thomas Lloyd. Matt Cox in 23rd, with Joseph Gulata in 24th. Tommy Gossett's going to bring it in 25th place, followed by Jacob Klein in 26th. 27th is going to go to Quentin Warman with Cody Johnson in 28th. 29th is going to go to Jonathan Cutlip, and starting in 30th is going to be Sean Anderson. Rounding out your 33-car field is going to be Maggie McGuire, Jose Solis, and Alan Pajeri. 33 cars, all-star field tonight. A lot of strength, a lot of big movers in this thing. I'm excited to see how this thing goes. And the car that I'm going to be watching from the start of this thing, man, I got to put my eyes on Garrett Maines. Starting 16th, that is the deepest I've seen him start all season. Rough qualifying lap for him, but you know he's going to be hot moving his way through this field.
No doubt about that, as all of our starters are rolling off for their formation laps. They're already going to be taking the green flag here. I mentioned from the start, Conklin on pole. He's going to be one to look out for. I mean, it's a lot of fast cats here. A lot of really quick times in qualifying. I think we're going to have a really exciting race on our hands. I don't know what I'm in for, but I know you guys probably do, so I'm just going to be following along here.
For some of the most fun you've had, some of the most fun high-octane action that you can get in about an hour and a half's time is what you're in for here tonight. Also, it's looking a little spooky out here. Gitter dropping out right now on the front row. And look at those Ryco cars, man. So excited to see them change it up. But once again, they're all still the same paint, but nice little festive Halloween scheme for them tonight as they roll themselves onto the front straightaway. Gitter has come back from the void. And the green flag is in the air. We are underway here. Conklin leading them down into turn 1. Gitter with a little bit of a struggle there on the start, falling back ever so slightly. Got real tight there on his entry into 1-2, still lagging a little bit. He's going to give second place to Adam Benefiel as they come down the backstretch. Working into turn number 3 to complete the first lap. Sean Conklin with a couple tenths advantage over second place. Adam Benefiel, 3 wide, all kinds of crazy action going on further in the back of the pack right now, though. Look at that Ryco car sandwich. Here comes Garrett Maines working himself, trying to take it 4 wide with Clayton Hoffman up there on the outside. Gonna think better of it, though. Not gonna be able to get the momentum he's looking for. Gonna fall back in line behind that 7 machine, try to work his way to the front from the top.
That's a phrase that you said that we're going to be saying quite a bit tonight. 3 wide action. All of these lanes are going to work in their favor tonight, and hell, we might even see a little bit of 4 wide. I saw the 9 car get loose off turn 4. He's going to lose a ton of positions here as we get on lap 3. Trying to see who the 9 car is right here. That was
JR Barbarema, and that slide is going to be a huge detriment for him. You know, you don't want to get these tires too sideways when they're still cold. It's a really easy way to throw off the balance to that right rear and make these things really difficult to drive, as we see Clayton Hoffman taking it 3 wide to the top with Patrick Gitter and Johnny Ballridge. And Gitter gets so tight on the bottom, just about wiped it. He's coming down pit road, though. I think he's trying to figure out that internet issue.
Definitely not how you want to start your race.
Not at all. As you see more 3 wide action, Garrett Maines getting to the bottom of Johnny Baldridge, falling in line behind Clayton Hoffman. Maines already up to sorry, that must be the wrong Ryco car. Maines is already up to the 4th position. 16th to 4th in 4 laps.
Wasting no time getting up here.
Yeah, well, one of the things we talk about up here every week is about how much of an animal Maines is. Completely dominated the Monday night. It was like there was no competition for him all race long. Now we see him up here in spitting distance of this top 3 as he takes 3rd place position from Adam Benefiel. And your race leader, Sean Conklin, currently under fire from the 7 machine of Clayton Hoffman as we come into turn number 3. 7 car of Hoffman, also a big mover, up from 12th position, up 10 spots into the 2nd place right now, and working on getting himself up to the lead here. Hoffman trying to work that slightly higher line over the 5 machine of Conklin, trying to get that momentum, shoot him down the straightaway. Not committing to that outside line just yet, though. Still loosely following in the tire tracks of that 5 machine as he comes out of turn number 4 to the front straightaway.
He is sticking right with our leader right now, Clayton Hoffman, in that 2nd place spot. And now you see him, he's kind of taking a different line. He's trying to get a little bit of clean air on that front nose, and anyone that drives these next-gen cars know how they handle in traffic. Even if you just got 1 car in the wake of your front bumper, it can definitely disrupt the handling of your car. So he's trying to look around a little bit. He can follow his tire tracks all he wants, but He needs to find a way around him. He's going to try to search around. Now he's going to go to the inside. Got a really good drive off turn 4. He's going to side draft him down the straightaway and try to take the lead away as they roar down into turn number 1.
Off and down to the bottom, real tight racing into turn number 1. A little bit of contact with the outside car of Sean Conklin. Good drive by both of these guys to keep him under, because Hoffman slid up. That little bit of contact made him lose, and now he's going to lose a spot to Garrett Maines up here on the outside.
Yeah, that slide up just opened the door for Maines as he took full advantage of that slip up from Hoffman, and he's going to take second place with authority. These two Ryco cars now running 1-2.
Now Maines up in the second place position. Eyes set on your race leader, Sean Conklin. And we know Conklin, man. These two, when they get together, they put together some of the most aggressive racing I've ever seen on this service and somehow make it work every week. But who's going to get the short end of the stick tonight? That's the real question. Are the gloves going to come off? As you see Maines dive it down to the bottom, same move we saw to Hoffman a lap and a half ago. Is Maines going to have more success with it than what we saw to Hoffman? Good run out of turn number 4 is going to pull him right up to the rear bumper of your race leader. Maines now to the bottom, pulling the side drafts as they come into turn number 1. But Conklin fighting hard on that outside line. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Maines gets a little loose. Back up to the door of the 5 machine.
Conklin not sparing him too much mercy, even though he's running a similar paint to him. He's racing him just as hard as he would at anybody else, because he's having him pinned down the inside, but Maines, with hardly any wiggle room, is able to make the bottom stick masterfully, and he's able to stay side by side, dead even down the straightaway. And he's going to go at it again into turn number 1.
Yeah, it's always Days of Thunder moments out of these two when they get side by side with each other. They may be teammates, you know, officially, but when it comes to being on the track, it's every man for himself. As you see them still neck and neck, coming into 3, Maines into the door of Conklin. Conklin does a good job keeping it under him, though. He's still going to keep momentum on that outside line. He's going to pull around Maines.
Here comes Hoffman.
Yeah, this is what Hoffman wanted to see, as he gets right up to the rear bumper of Garrett Maines, but I don't think Hoffman's really going to try and step out and make anything happen right now. Because he knows that when these two are together, it's prime time to make moves and try to save a little bit of tire, though. Because you know these two are going to wear each other out.
Oh, we got a car, looks like riding all the way up against the fence here, the 22. Looking like a Joey Logano car. I can't quite see who it is right now.
Yeah, he did that, I want to say that's Jose Salas. He did that Monday night to great success. Worked himself up in a really nice position. You see him up on the wall, literally grabbing the wall there. Not the desired effect, but he has done such a good job all week just running right up against that fence where nobody else has been going. Most people have been kind of gridlocked to the paint or the middle line at 22. He starts these runs out early, high, wide, and handsome in the Harry Gant line, and it's been working for him.
It's working masterfully. I mean, looking through the grid here, there's been quite a few cars that have been on the move. Jose Salas, he is up 20 spots from where he started, so he's been on the move from the get-go.
Yeah, and it's going to be progressive for him, making up those spots until we get up into that top 5. That's what we saw Monday night. Once you get into the top 5, those guys up there, they're masters of their craft, and they are almost impossible to find yourself past. As you see, the master of the series right now, Garrett Maines, taking position from Sean Conklin. Maines up to the lead now. Hard-fought battle. Is Conklin going to have anything left in the tank for him? I don't know, man. You see Conklin getting down to the bottom, riding on that paint. Getting clean air to the nose. They're going to be side by side coming out turn number 2. Right now, Conklin with the advantage on corner entry. Going to pull ahead just a little bit, and he's going to pull a slide job on Garrett Maines. Conklin not giving up the lead easy here. It's only 15 laps in. These two are racing like it's 10 to go. Here comes Maines back to the bottom. Huge side draft coming into turn number 1. A little bit of a door check. The two of them slide up the hill. Leaning on each other. Slamming fenders coming into turn number 1. Maines going to fall back in line, though. We got more racing a little bit further back. Gulata Looks like down to the inside of Nicholas Vroman. Vroman working up on that outside, trying to get that momentum. Now, Gulata's somebody that's been on a hot streak here recently, Curtis. You know, we spent the first half of the season, we didn't really talk about this guy a whole lot. He has been so good the past 4 or 5 weeks, and it looks like that momentum is just continuing for that 98 machine.
Absolutely, and looks like they got that battle settled a little bit, and I'm watching through the rest of the field. I had my eye on Solace. As we look right now, it seems like the majority of the field right now is riding around that inside lane, these bottom 2 rows. Solace is the only one riding the fence right now. And you mentioned about saving tire. Homestead is a very tire-hungry racetrack as far as I know, so definitely curious to see how this will benefit him later on in the run. But considering where he started, I can definitely see the benefit. I mean, he's making up a ton of speed up there compared to the guys that he's around.
Yeah, the thing about Solace is, you know, we've watched all week everybody running, you know, try to tiptoe to that outside line and middle lane, and everybody that's gone up there has absolutely killed the tires, but somehow that 22 machine all week has had the combo figured out on how to get that thing right up against the fence and not fall back too much. You know, right now he's kind of at a stall point. As you see him go to the bottom now, try to get a little bit of load out of the tires, try to cool him down just a smidge so he can make another stab up against that outside line. But you know, I haven't seen anybody here all week that's been able to work that top line to such a benefit without killing what they have under them. As now you see he's back to the rear end of Warman in that 84 machine.
He just
only for a
worked his
second on
way.
the straightaway.
He just worked his way around Alex Murray and trying to see who this other car is. Roger Pierce. As he's worked his way up into the top 10, running in 9th, and he's back to the top. And it's a tightrope walk running the outside, but he's not only just up there, he is literally on the wall. Like, you could fit a piece of paper barely between his car and the wall. That's how close he's running against it right now.
Yeah, he's just dusting off that Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick line. I really wish we had that right rear camera that they have on the Fox broadcast, because that'd be pretty cool to see from the spoiler angle. Because there is, as you said, absolutely no room between him and that fence. He is absolutely on that aero cushion. As you see him dive down to the bottom of Heitman here in a 1, and with ease. I mean, that car is working everywhere he puts it, and that is exactly what you want to have here at Homestead.
Got around Heitman for 6, and now he's got Nick Vroman in his windshield. That's for a top 5 spot.
All the way up against the fence again, trying to build that momentum down the straightaway. It's been such an advantage for him for these first 21 laps. Not quite the run that he wanted off of 4. Looks like he got a little bit tight. Pushed the cushion just a smidge. Had to roll out of it to avoid knocking down the fence. But it's always so much better in 1 and 2, so I feel like he's going to be able to get it done here. But currently, the battle for the lead shaking up again. Garrett Maines all the way to the rear bumper, now looking down to the inside on the back straightaway of Sean Conklin coming in as turn number 3. That one, a little bit of contact.
These two have not let off for a second, still running side by side through 3 and 4. Almost a little bit of contact again between the two teammates, as Clayton Hoffman still within reaching distance. He could reach his arm out the window and touch the rear bumper of the 1 car. And now looks like we're going to make this a 4-car battle up at the front in this number 98 here.
Yeah, Gulata, the late season momentum swaying in his favor. You see him work himself up to the back of the 3rd place position of Clayton Hoffman. Going to go up to that outside line. Going to try a little bit of what Jose Salas has been doing. A little bit more conservative, though, running that middle seam. Not quite committed to going up against the fence just yet, but I feel like as this thing goes on, you're going to see that 98 up against the wall, because we saw it at Kansas. Everybody's running the bottom there. He was up against the fence. But right now, staying in line behind Clayton Hoffman. Conklin pulling away a little bit of an advantage now over 2nd place Garrett Maines. You know that one machine's got to be trying to cool the tires. We're starting to get into that part of the run that we had Monday night where the chaos sort of dies down. Everybody gets single filed, and now we get to the point where it's a strategy race. As you see a side-by-side battle happening. As I'm talking about it, Tommy Gossett down to the inside of, can't quite tell who that is right now. Cody Johnson, the 6 machine. Gossett running way low on the bottom. 6 run all the way up against the fence. You see that outside line momentum swinging in the favor of the 6 car there. A little bit further back, we got another 6 car. Man, I love custom numbers. Got cut lip going up against. Hang on, I'm trying to get everything right with my iRacing.
Paul Hill in the custom number 6 as he's getting passed by Cutlip, it looks like. No shortage of action all around this racetrack.
No, this is such a great place to race. See Hill down there on the bottom, not really able to get that momentum down like he wants. As that 79 machine of Shane Davis starts to pull it around the outside. Gonna get the position on him now. This is the battle for 23rd. Cutlip to the back bumper of Nicholas Patovich. Oh, Patovich gets tight right in front of Cutlip. A little bit of contact. Good save out of both these drivers. And Shane Davis is going to push Cutlip forward past that 84 machine into turn number 3.
And you got 3 wide, middle of the pack. Got side by side further back, and even up at the front, we have a little bit of a shakeup. While we were looking back there, I saw Joseph Galata send a massive diver on Clayton for 3rd, and now he's outside 3 wide between Solace and Roman.
And look at that, man. Solace just, it's crazy what he's been doing here, man. He's right now in position to potentially walk out with 2nd place at the moment. But you see Davis all the way up against that fence. He's going to get a huge shot down the straightaway. He's going to pull him way out in front of Roman. Now here's the question. Is he going to go down and try to aero block it, or is he going to stay up at the top? You see him stay up on that outside line, still trusting that momentum from that high side. And now Jose Solis is stuck down there on the bottom, hemorrhaging speed to these two as they race it out there at the top of the track. But here comes Solis all the way up against the wall into turn number 3. And man,
Solis just going back to what works. Sorry for interrupting. I'm still...
Oh, you're good, man. And, you know, this is what I want to see Monday night. We had such just a gridlock of single file racing. And, you know, some of that's probably nerves. Some of these guys haven't really practiced all the different lines that you can run here. But tonight, man, these guys are using every inch of this racetrack all the way through the field. It is so beautiful to see because, God, I hate one-lane racing.
It's definitely a lot more fun when there's options. For sure, and I think now we're starting to see those options start to open up. The playbook's starting to open up in the long run as all those cars that we were seeing hogging around the bottom 2 lanes this entire run are starting to follow kind of what Solace has been doing. They're starting to migrate up to the top. We see Galata up there right now as he's side by side with Solace for what looks like 4th place. Both those cars got around Clayton Hoffman, who is now back into 6th. Then you got the top 3 here. Conklin, Maines, and Vroman. Vroman now up into 3rd place. The Ryco cars running 1, 2, 3, all running around those bottom 2 lanes. We're about 32 laps into this event.
Yeah, and Roman doing what we're so used to seeing out of him. We call him the master tire saver for a reason. You know, this dude, you watch everybody fly by him like crazy on the short run. It's typical every week. But here he is now, 3rd place, probably with better stuff under him than either of the 2 in front of him. And he's been slowly marching his way through here. And like normal, man, we didn't mention it, you know, his move or anything. You just don't notice it. When Roman comes in, like when he clicks that switch on, it's day and night. He goes from being mid-pack to right there, battling for the lead. And a couple more laps, he's going to be up there in that fight with Conklin. I can guarantee it. And there's the caution. Good to see that the commentator jinx is still very much a thing, guys.
Thomas Lloyd around in turn 2.
Looks like that caught, looks like that caught, what was that, Pierce? No, not Pierce. You guys see 3 wide into turn 1, Houghton up into the right side of the 24 machine, and sorry, that rough hit there. Watch it back here. We're going right on board with Houghton. As he comes into turn number 1, everything looks good. Can't really see. And then just boom, around she goes, and nowhere for Houghton to go. When you're up on that fence, I mean, we saw it, a couple years ago in the Xfinity Series with Gregson. When you're up there against the wall and somebody in front of you gets up into some kind of a mess and they slide in front of you, there's nowhere you can go. Because it is so tight up against that fence. Right now, field coming in, though, for 4 tires and fuel. Conklin leading them down pit road, mains to his rear bumper. Well, while we're under caution, everybody's pitting. We're going to send it off to a quick word from our sponsors, and we will be back with more racing action here on the grid. Quickest caution I've ever seen in my life. Lights are on the pace car. The green flag is in the air. Sean Conklin leads us back to the start line here as we dive down into turn number 1. Conklin with a decent advantage over second place Nicholas Vroman, and Garrett Maines up on the top, trying to bring a fight to Vroman. Not a good restart for Maines. Real close battle here for second place, though, as they just about make contact through 1 and 2. And 3 wide into turn number 3. Vroman stuck in the middle with Clayton.
Make that 4. Make that 4 wide.
Salas all the way up against the fence. Look at that thing yawing out. A little bit of contact coming out of turn number 4. Heitman and Vroman. And here's the thing. Vroman's probably really pissed off at Heitman for running him so low there, but I guarantee you Vroman has no idea that Salas was up there. Because we all know that the spotter only calls 3 wide, does not call 4s for 3 wide again. With the 84 machine now, Quentin Warman taking the advantage of the outside line past Heitman and Vroman.
They're starting to settle down just a little bit, but it's still pretty chaotic, just a little bit more of a controlled chaos.
Contact with the outside wall. Pedro Palladino in the 24. Reach out there and smack the fence in the front straightaway.
Got one sideways. I think that was Cody B. Johnson, and owned a record right behind him.
Huge crash into turn number 1. 19 machine of John Whitendorf got turned around there in front of the field. Replay here to see what happened. 6 gets sent around by, it looks like the 33, and just a chain reaction incident there on the bottom line trying to get around it. Unfortunately, John Whitendorf gets the worst of it. See DeCiani scoot his way through it on the outside.
Shane
Right on board.
Davison, Nicholas Patovich barely getting a little bit involved, but they were able to keep their car straightened out. Everyone else scattering around, doing a great job. Very heads up stuff from the guys at the back of the field, but unfortunate for Whitendorf, who gets the worst of it for sure.
Yeah, real rough break for that 19 machine, but luckily for him, he's able to get the thing righted back around. Doesn't look like he's busted the toe link. Car looks like it's sitting straight, so he should be all right. Just come down, pull on the fenders, and send her back out. As you see right here, wheel straight. A little bit of cock to the right. That's, you know, that's most likely steering offset. Most of these drivers run that to make it just a little bit easier to get the thing in the corner without having to overextend your arm too much to get the car to rotate. So everything looks good for that 19 machine here. Heck, he might even just stay out.
He should be fine. We still got a long way to go, and with this being a very short stint, like these tires are still, they just went through a heat cycle. They're still got plenty of laps left in them, so not really much reason to waste another set already.
One of the things making this track so racy is we look at the weather conditions right there on the right side of the track. Overcast. It's completely gray, cloudy, no sun hitting the track. Ambient temperature 76 degrees. Track temp is up to 84. Incredibly low, especially compared to what we saw Monday night where the track temp was in the upper 100s. So really going to keep these guys locked in, give them options, a lot more grip than what most of these guys probably even built these cars for. Also got a easterly moving wind of 10 miles an hour. Something I never pay attention to personally. I don't know about you guys, but I've never once paid attention to the wind for anything, and always wonder why qualifies so bad. Yeah, it is. To our producer's credit, it is really ugly outside right now. I don't know. Do we have a hurricane moving in over here? Tis the season.
Might be. I mean, it's in Florida. They already had a couple of move around in that area already, just recently. Yeah, back to your point about wind, I never even notice it either. It gets confusing when they point in like directions. I'm like, I don't really know where this track is placed.
Exactly.
Like, where is it facing, in what direction, north, south? I'm like, south could be turn 3, turn 1. I don't really know. I never really notice it. I'll figure it out. That's kind of how I approach that.
Right, here we are. We're getting a view, but the camera's panning 360 degrees, so
I feel dizzy.
That kind of. Oh, you sure about that? Huh. Oh yeah,
The
sight lines on the northwest
northwest.
side, which means the easternly. Wow, okay, that's a hard word for me tonight. Pull that one out of the bank. The easterly wind means we'd be getting a headwind coming into turn 1. Yeah, yeah.
Means there is wind, yes.
It means wind. It's terrible. I hate it. I need to do is I need to give it. Headwind's coming down the back straight. Got it. See, I did really good in school, guys. It's that Virginia public education system paying a benefit to me right now.
They're starting to double up. Lights are out on the pace car. We got one to go before we got the next restart on our way. I want to bring up Joseph Galata just for a quick second. He is back into the top 5. While we were during commercial break during the last caution, he was back in 9th place because he slid past his pit box. So he made up all that ground just in that stint. So he is back right about where he was.
That is such an easy mistake to make, especially with these next gen cars. You know, Curtis, you and I are typically used to cars that brake without locking up instantaneously so much in all the stuff that you and I both run together. Man, these next gen cars with the huge master cylinders that they have on them, they like Charlotte Roval was almost undrivable because it was just pure lockup anytime you would touch more than quarter brake. As the pace car gets ready to make its descent, Sean Conklin leads this field here onto the front straightaway into the Geico restart zone. Doubled up, green flag is in the air. Conklin to the gas with a really good launch past Garrett Maines. Maines does a good job keeping that outside line, though. We've seen him struggle in the first two restarts, and a little bit of contact between Heitman and Gulata. Gulata going to squeeze the middle here. Big slide on the bottom for what looks like Nicholas Vroman, and now the 12 machine. Miller Bonds all the way up against the fence. That was a wreck. That should have been a wreck, and it didn't happen.
That was multiple wrecks that should have happened. We got another one that might happen right there. The 17 on the apron. They were 4 wide again. Misses the bottom. They're going to squeeze right on by both inside and out. Another close call, even in turns 3 and 4.
Great save for Johnny Baldridge there. That should have been a race ender for him. Does a good job getting the thing back up onto the track without stirring too much chaos. Going to lose a lot of momentum in a lot of positions, but it's better to lose that than to lose the car. You see the front half of this pack starting to single file, but a hornet's nest further through the field. But bringing our eyes back up to the front, here comes Garrett Maines with a charge to that middle line, trying to get up to the rear bumper of your race leader, Sean Conklin. Not going to be able to get the momentum right now, though. Conklin really doing a good job of keeping Maines at bay.
Yeah, Maines didn't quite have the best restart, but he had quite a bit of help from his teammate Quentin Warman in the 84. He is his best friend on that restart. He's now up into 3rd place. I think that's the highest he's been so far tonight. I'm curious to see what this 84 can bring to the table. As you got Solis and Gulata running 4th, 5th, Hoffman running in 6th still. Some of the same cast, just kind of shuffle around just a little bit.
Yep, Solis still with another incredible performance up here in that 4th position. Under fire right now, though, from that 98 machine of Gulata. Gulata showing us what he showed at Kansas, made him so good there. Kind of struggled a little bit since, but, you know, now that we're back on a progressively banked mile and a half, he is out here absolutely sending it, looking good. But here comes that one machine of Maines down to the inside of Conklin again. And he's going to get a huge side draft here. Let's go put them dead even as they come across the start-finish line. Side draft him again into turn number 1, a little bit of a door check. Another
he missed the bottom really bad.
1 and 2. Maines, huge contact. That's
here comes Warman.
Warman down to the bottom now. Is he going to be able to carry that momentum? Maine's going to try and pull a side draft on his other teammate and come back up and side draft Conklin into 3. Dead heat between these Ryco machines into turn number 3.
I'm seeing triple right now.
It's spooky, that's for sure. As Warman gets the advantage, but Maines pulls him back again with the side draft. Now he's going to go up and work on that 54 machine of Conklin. They're going to be dead even again into turn number 1. But that outside line momentum starting to pay in favor of Conklin. These guys play around too much. It's going to be 4 wide because I know Solis is just itching to stick that thing up against the fence and blow past all 3 of them. And here it comes.
Yeah, no doubt he will, given the chance. We already see him do it earlier.
Oh, not a good corner. Not a good corner for Solis. He's going to just barely scrape that fence. It's going to kill that momentum coming down the front straightaway. But he's going to be able to maximize and get past Warman. Warman, not a good corner in 3 and 4. But now it's Maines and Conklin again with Solis against the fence. Solis stuck in the fence again. It is so hard to make that outside line work on cold tires like this because it's so unpredictable. The car just wants to jut out. And you can't tell if it wants to get tight or loose for the first couple of laps, depending on setup. And Maines, more heavy contact to the left side door of Conklin coming through turn 4. Conklin's still going to come out on top, though. He's going to lead this lap. Here comes that 84 machine of Warman. Maines going to try to get to the quarter panel, but just barely miss it. Falling back in line behind the 54 machine of Conklin. Time to cool those tires down and make another stab at it. And here comes Warman. Not going to give Maines the opportunity. Warman diving down to the bottom of the track, just about to the flat coming out of turn number 4. Gulata putting pressure to the back end of the one machine of Maines, though. Going to give him a push past Warman into turn number 1. Tell you what, these guys are trying to run me out of breath right now. Now Gulata's going to move himself up into 3rd position past Quentin Warman. Right there in the
Seeing
catbird seat behind this fight that we know is going to break out between Maines and Conklin at any minute now.
seemed like the bottom lane was just starting to hurt Foreman a little bit, as everyone else was able to kind of gang up on him on the outside when they were 3 wide earlier, and then you got Galata, who's able to defend as Foreman goes back to the inside for 3rd place at a 2. Galata's going to have the advantage here with the momentum on the outside, and that's going to keep him in 3rd. Foreman's going to have to settle in for now, but can you really settle in when you're this close to the car's front and behind you? You got Solace in his mirror. He's dealing with Clayton Hoffman in the 7th.
Yeah, so back to that previous statement you made there just a little bit ago about, that an inside line looking so bad. It's so weird, right? Like, we consistently talk about use that bottom line, stay on that paint, saves tires, right? Well, it saves tires unless. And the but for that situation is if you got somebody on your outside and you cannot get all the way up to the walls, we have a battle shaking up. Huge run for Mays, and he's going to steal that spot from Conklin into turn number 3.
They definitely hit that time.
From the outside. All the way from the top rope back down to the ring itself, but here comes Conklin back to the inside. A little bit of side draft coming into turn number 1. Conklin going to send it with a huge slider into turn number 1, and he's going to steal the lead back from Garrett Maines.
Sent and delivered.
Now, if these guys will give me a second here, I'll finish on my previous thought. Basically, if you get that car on your outside line, they pinch you down to that bottom, and you can't use that whole track. It will absolutely destroy that right front tire, and it takes a couple laps for those pressures to get back, the heat to leave those tires, for you to be able to actually be remotely competitive with the cars around you. See Gulata now working himself back into the picture, up in that 3rd position, all the way to the back bumper. That one machine of Garrett Maines here through the first couple of corners. Coming down the back straightaway, Gulata going to duck it down to the bottom, try to offset a little bit. Looks like, running Talladega back in the day in the old Gen 6. Trying to use that draft to your advantage, but not push the car in front of you. As you see Gulata get back up to that outside line now, trying to get a little bit of momentum. And it is just so hard. Passing Garrett Maines is probably among the list of the hardest things to do on the surface. You see Gulata going to try and push Maines into the corner. He's probably trying to push these two to race each other again so he can find a way by him. I think that's what's going on here.
He kind of has to now. This is about the furthest away Conklin's gotten all night. That shows you how close the racing's been all night long.
Yeah, that right there, man, that is a lot of talent here in this field. This whole top 10. I mean, each one of these guys up in here, all a likely competitor to win this race tonight if things just work in their favor the slightest bit. The most competitive the service has ever been, and the most competitive NiS has ever been in the 8 years that I've been on the service myself. And you got a variance too, it's not just all one team right now. There's parity in the field. You got Nitro there with Clayton Hoffman. I have no idea who Solace is running for or whose sets he's got under him. Got the Ryco cars up here in the front. Not too sure about what Gulata's got underneath them. Right now, all the odds are in the favor of Ryco, though, as Sean Conklin and Garrett Maines, 2 of the best in the field, 2 of the best cars on track. Starting to run away with this thing just a little bit. See Solace winding it up down there on the bottom, trying to get past that 84 machine of Quentin Warman. All the way down to the paint. Good set of corners, but Warman getting the advantage. Looks like Solace got a little loose down there on that inside line. He's going to fall back in behind Warman and try to take another stab at it. Warman now to the inside of Gulata through 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. Dead heat drag race down the back stretch into turn number 3. Advantage going to the 98 machine of Gulata. Just going to try and throw a pinch on that 84 of Warman to keep him down there in that bottom, to keep him at bay. Doesn't quite stick it the way he wants, so big slide up the track right in front of Solace, and they're both going to go into the fence out of turn number 4.
That was 2 paths crossing right there with Gulata sliding up and Solace building all that momentum that he's been running on the outside. And they just kind of met right there. They're thankful that that wasn't anything worse than what it was.
And for Solace, that was absolutely the worst time to catch a little bit of surprise, dirty air from the machine in front of you. You saw the effect of that is he's going to go down to the bottom to try to make quick work of that 98 machine of Gulata, but Gulata not going to make it easy. Gulata's going to stick it right there in that middle lane, try to build that power off the corner, keep that engine wound up. But here comes Solace with a huge side draft down the straightaway, but he's going to fall back, lose 2 spots. Gulata all the way up against the fence. Now a little bit of contact with that right rear quarter, it looked like. Not going to hurt him, though. He's going to fly down this back straightaway all the way to the back bumper of Garrett Maines.
Right now, anytime I'm watching Solace take the bottom, it seems like he's trying to carry as much speed as he can. It's kind of hard to really do that when you're side by side, and that's kind of where, kind of the opposite of where we've been used to seeing him run this race. I mean, he's been running the bottom quite a bit, but it seemed like he was trying to charge the corners a little bit more as he's back to the top here, trying to make some of that ground back.
I cannot think of many drivers more aggressive than that 22 machine of Jose Solace. He wears that Joey Logano paint scheme with pride, I can tell you that much. You see him giving a huge shot to the 98 machine of Gulata, trying to push him past Warman. Gulata's running the top. Solace is trying to find some kind of way to run even higher up than him. At some point, he's going up in the parking lot if he keeps going up.
I think Gulata's starting to take note of what Solace has been able to do up there, so he's trying to keep him at bay, running the outside. As I think that was really close, as Solace definitely hit the wall that time.
Yeah, Solace hit the wall, brought it back down to the bottom of the track. Rough set of corners for him. Here comes Gulata, though, to the inside of Quentin Warman into turn number 3. Not going to be able to make it stick on that inside line, though. He's going to slide up, just about turn that 84, but falls in line behind him.
Hoffman taking advantage.
Yeah, and Hoffman, that is somebody. That's a driver that's got all the tools he needs to get the job done. He just needs a break. Seven Machine has been fast a lot this year, and really talented driver behind the wheel of that thing. And one of these weeks, man, it's going to come to fruition, and I swear he's going to get this thing done. Don't know about tonight, but I see it in the future. Work ourselves through the field here a little bit. It's dogfights all over the track right now, man. Everybody's putting the pressure to somebody. We see that 6 machine working the bottom line with the 12 up there on the top. Good set of corners there for, I do believe that's Miller Bonds in the 12. Getting good launch into turn number 3. That's going to pull him up in front of that 6 machine behind him. Johnny Ballridge diving it down to the bottom of the track on the inside of the 32 machine of Pajari. Pajari not getting a really good run out of that middle line, really backing it up in center. Heard some big time coming out of the corner. That's going to get the spot at Johnny Ballridge. Good pass for Johnny. And so far, a pretty decent race for him. He's had a really rough season. But Johnny looking pretty stout tonight, keeping that thing in one piece. Knock on wood, because I don't want to hit him with the curse. But so far, a good night for him in that Lockhart Chevrolet. Back up at the front, everybody's single filing right now. Gulata losing a handful of spots now. Falling back to 7th place. That's where you see that outside line working those tires as hard as they were. Not working out in the favor of him or Solace. You see Solace at the back of the Congo line right now, and Gulata just way worse off. Did not do a good job saving those right sides.
Yeah, that's one guy that's on the way back, but I see one car, the car that just got around him, that seems to be getting himself back in the fray. Nick Roman. He's the one that got around him. That's puts him back up into 6th place. I think we're starting to see him kind of finally get comfortable again in this run.
Yeah, it's a really nice lap for Nicholas Roman to start working his way back through. We're at that point in the run now where, if Roman's been saving tires, he's going to be inevitable.
Absolutely.
You see Roman slowly reeling that string of cars in front of him in. Closing that advantage. Here we are. We're looking at the last lap times. Nicholas Roman with a 33.4. About dead equal with Sean Coughlin's 33.391. Another really good lap for Roman. Fastest car on the track at the moment.
Looks like Alada is continuing to fall back. He's going to lose another spot to Cody Johnson in the 6. Swing down to the inside.
Yeah, Cody Johnson, good run. I mentioned it last week. You know, it's been basically a dead year. A lot of murmurs that things weren't really going so well with the EPI organization. But right now, you see Cody B. Johnson up here, you know, running pretty good with those stickers on the car. It's always good to see a late season turnaround for some of these teams that have been kind of on the struggle bus. Cody carrying the flag for that team right now as he puts a huge amount of Galata gets dipping sideways in 3 and 4. One the save out of that 98 machine. And almost lost it in front of Heitman and that 24 machine of Palladino. Heitman going to slide up the track here. Good job maximizing, though, because it looked like he was going to lose a lot of momentum there. But here comes Alex Murray working that outside line, going to get past that 76 machine of Heitman through 3 and 4. Good momentum up at the top of the track. Going to get a huge advantage down to 1 and 2. He's got the 76 machine cleared now. And here comes Solis working himself back up to that outside line now. Moving up a spot in front of the 84 machine of Quentin Warman. This is the thing that doesn't make sense, man. You know, we talk about that, how he's burned the tires off. Handful of laps later, he's back fighting for third. You cannot keep that cat down.
He's got something figured out that the rest of these guys don't.
And the crazy thing is he's had it all week. He did it Monday night. Here he is doing it again on the Friday night. And man, I tell you, the difference in competition between Mondays and Fridays, it's something to behold when it comes to these Cup Series cars. You see Solis with a good run off the corner there. Good launch down the straightaway. I'll leave that 84 in the mirror for a little bit, but here comes that 84, diving it back down to the bottom, making it work. Solis gets up into the fence just a little bit in 3 and 4. They're going to be dead even coming out of turn number 4. But advantage going back to the 22. It's just crazy how he's keeping that pace up. Here comes Hoffman trying a little bit of it. Gets the fence a little bit coming out of turn number 2, though. You don't want to work that top. You're going to have to be more aggressive, but also somehow be more conservative at the same time. Because that middle seam, riding that middle seam all the way up to the fence, I just don't see the momentum in that. Really got to get up on that fence and make it cook.
Yeah, I'm looking at Solis's car right now. I'm just wondering how much wear and tear he's able to take running that top lane as much as he's doing right now.
Well, I'm wondering though, at the same time, right? With that arrow effect that you have up against the fence now, you know, it's been talked about frequently since they added it in back in what I think 2021 or 2020 is when we got that, where they added that little pocket of air that forms, that extra side force you get running right up against the wall. The thing that, you know, the cape that Kyle Larson wears every week when we come to these progressively banked tracks. You know, I wonder if being up on there on that outside line, you know, has a similar effect to what we have in real life, where it actually helps you save a little bit of tire as the car starts to fade, because you're not having to put as much wheel into it as you would run in the middle or the bottom. You have to be precise. You got to drive it with your foot. And I wonder if that's what's playing into the favor of that 22 machine. So when we see him when he's down low, he's rough. Like, hemorrhage spots, but as soon as he goes up there, it's lights out.
I was going to say, he was continuing to make it work. He was trying to make work with Garrett Maines, and that time it didn't seem to work all that well, as now Orman in the 84 is going to try to get back around him on the bottom.
I'll tell you what, though, man. Anybody that's got a team that's looking for a driver, and I don't say this often, but you take a guy that can run that consistently, that close to the wall, and put him in your car, because Jose Salas has, I haven't talked about him a whole lot this year. The few times I have talked about him, it's been unfortunate breaks and circumstances for him. But man, the talent that he is showing tonight is absolutely impeccable. Because he is outdogged with these two guys in front of him. You got Garrett Maines, a Pro Series driver last season. You got Sean Conklin, somebody that's well on his way to making a name for himself here on the iRacing service. 15-year-old whiz kid prodigy, driving out here with a broken collarbone at the moment. And you got Jose Salas sitting here in the third place, bringing the fight to Quentin Warman, somebody we've seen win a lot of races for Ryco this year in the B Series. And Nicholas Roman, one of the best that Ken Byron has on tap. Oh, Houghton playing the roadblock here on the 22 of Salas. Salas not happy with it, going to throw him a door coming down the front straightaway, and Houghton's going to try and send him down to the inside wall. I don't know why you're doing that, but all right. Tough break for Salas. I see a little bit of right front damage on that 22 machine. And no, viewers in chat, those top 5 are not teammates. They just all happen to accidentally pick the same paint scheme off of Trading Paints.
Very strange coincidence.
Yeah, it's really weird. Everybody just showed up to the same dance, wearing the same dress. Right now, Vroman working himself up to 3rd position, though, getting past Quentin Warman. Is this the point where we're going to start to see that 95 machine go? I think he maybe saved a little bit too much at the beginning of this run. See him up there working that outside line, though, trying to get everything he can out of that thing. Just a handful of laps away from pit stops. We already know that Joseph Gulata has come down pit road and fired on 4 freshies and a tank of fuel. Roman working that outside line, and huge damage. The damage received from the contact with the 41 machine of Houghton. That's going to be a huge detriment for that 22 car as we move forward.
That's what I was kind of worrying about with him as he's making his way down pit road now. It seemed like he was already having a little bit of damage, albeit it was just, just scruffs of paint coming off. That's no big deal, but now you see the right front's actually caved in, so that's actually going to have a little bit of effect. So now that gives him an opportunity to fix it if he chooses to do so, which hopefully shouldn't take that much time.
Absolutely bad call to make, though, under the green flags pitch sequence, though, at the same time. You just want to come down there and let them pull whatever they can before they drop the jack. Once they drop the jack, you want to get out. Right now, we see the 6th machine, though, of Johnson bringing it down pit road. Oh, huge lockup behind him. I think that might be Speed. Can't quite tell who that is, but Alex Murray. I feel like that's probably going to be a penalty. We'll keep up with that. Conklin still up here on the point, though, with a 7/10 of a second advantage over 2nd place Garrett Maines. Maines, your Monday night winner. Looks like Conklin doesn't want him sneaking up the show here, though, on a Friday night. Huge lock up there for the 9 machine. Everybody else getting into pit road pretty free and clean here.
We got a few takers, but it seems like most of the front is pretty content staying out right now. I don't know how much longer that... we got looks like Hoffman. He's going to stray from the pack and come down pit road, but as far as the Ryco cars, they're continuing to stretch it out.
Yeah, and they're banking on the fact that the tire fall off.
Oh, caution.
It's working out in their favor. Caution is out on the Speedway. Wonder where exactly that came from. Nicholas Padovich. Tough break for the Red Bull machine, and the toe is knocked out. You see it wobbling down the front straightaway.
Wonder if it had to do with him trying to come down pit road. 'Cause that's right around in that area.
I think it had something to do with I don't know why. I mean,
Ooh.
he was definitely trying to get pit road. I don't think he get the front end to bite, and he got stuck in that middle lane a little bit longer than he was wanting to, and huge contact from behind, and around she goes. You see the 12 machine of Miller Bonds with heavy damage to the front end after that, right in the center. Right on board with Bonds here as he comes to turn number 3 and likely doesn't even see what's going on in front of these guys because he's probably got the FOV scaled up a little more forward and just nowhere to go. It's really hard to figure out where these cars are going to slide off to here at Homestead. It's not so much a self-cleaning racetrack. Tough breaks as you see the leaders bring it down pit road. Sean Conklin leading a hungry field of drivers down here into their boxes. Well, while these guys are on pit road and under caution, we're going to have a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be back to bring you more of this Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split on the grid.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back to the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split. Clayton Hoffman leading them down here into the restart zone. Lights out on the pace car. Slowly working his way into the box, and the green flag is back. And working ourselves down into 1 and 2. Hoffman still with the advantage, but Garrett Maines coming on strong with fresher tires. Working himself up to the back bumper, down to the inside as they come down the back straightaway, side by side. Coming down to turn number 3, Garrett Maines with the advantage. He's going to tap it down to the bottom of the track. Hoffman going to try and hold him up, but Hoffman going to slide way up the track here. Lose a bunch of time, but somehow make it work with the momentum. But Maines, with the help from the 84 machine, his teammate Quentin Warman, going to push him out into the lead here into turn 1.
And there we see the Ryco train ready to leave the station, as poor Clayton Hoffman's getting ganged up on as they're all pouncing him on the inside lane.
Yeah, Hoffman on slightly older stuff. And Conklin a little bit loose in front of Hoffman here, coming out turn number 4, but a good job to keep that thing under.
Trouble!
Oh, huge crash on the front straightaway. Palladino's in it. That is heavy damage on that 32 machine. Got one more sliding down the banking in turn 1.
I think Solis might have been involved in that.
Yeah, that's just disappointing for Solis. Ended up getting himself in the back of the pack because he pitted.
Alex Murray also involved.
See what happened here. Oh, Solis kind of the cause, I think. See him get to the back bumper of the 32 machine coming out of the corner 4 wide. And as I mentioned earlier, spotters only call 3. And a funnel effect coming out of turn 4 is what's going to take a handful of cars out of contention tonight.
Thing is, even if they held it, they were on the brink of being 5 wide, so who knows what would have happened there. Like right there.
Solis getting 2 cars for the price of 1 there. Unfortunately, doesn't work out for the other 2, but Solis looks like he's going to get through it pretty much scot-free. He's right on board with Palladino here on the outside. And none of these guys know at this point, right, that they're 4. Because if you're that guy on the bottom, you just know you got 1 guy up on top of you. Spotter says 3. And eventually you find out, but it's kind of like stabbing in the dark. This was a very important cycle for Garrett Maines. As you see, he was able to get himself up to the lead here and take control of this race away from Sean Conklin, who has pretty much dominated it from the start. Drive through the field from 16th position, finally up to first place here. Probably the most exciting night Garrett Maines has had here on the service in a while now. Normally he just qualifies up front and runs away.
No time to settle down yet. Even under this yellow, he's probably thinking in his head what's going to unfold from here on out. Like, the excitement's just going to pick up even more on the closing laps.
Somehow we have Thomas Lloyd scored in the lead right now. Pretty sure that means that somebody's about to have to make a second pit stop under green here for passing the pace car under caution. Because that's the only way that would be happening right now. You see the camaraderie at play here. Warman trying to get Garrett Maines past the pace car. Warman, if you're trying to do it, you got to push him in front of it and keep him in front of it for at least a lap or 2. So Curtis, what are you expecting here for these next 34 laps once they take the green flag?
I think we're going to start to see the intensity pick up a little bit more. I mean, we got just a bit of an appetizer with it these last few runs. And if we can get one where it stays green, I think we're going to see about more of what we already saw. Just, these Ryco cars between, Mains and Conklin and even Warman, they've been spicing things up at the front between each other. Clayton Hoffman also up there. I mean, we'll probably see someone up in this top 5 or 6 try to mix it up and maybe try to do the solace treatment, try to rim ride the fence, try to see if they can get as high up there as they possibly could. In these closing laps, we might see more cars go to the top. I don't know.
I think if you're sitting here spectating this thing right now, you put your camera on, you put your focus on that 22 machine way back there in the pack. That is going to be the car to watch here just for the excitement factor alone. Because if there's going to be a wreck, he's going to be the one to find it. And he's going to be about 2 inches off that fence. Pedal down to the floor. And yes, Thomas in the chat, they can absolutely make it to the end on fuel here.
Thomas.
I mean, red line racer.
I'm gonna say it's a good thing that I'm up here and not over there. Then again, I also don't know how the hell I ended up here anyways, but I'm glad that I'm able to witness this with you guys. It's been a great race so far, and I'm very excited to see how it ends.
Yeah, buddy, glad to have you up in the booth. It's always good to have a long-term friend up here calling these things with me. And glad I could be a part of your first iRacing broadcast as pace car diving itself down that long Homestead pit road. These guys lined up side by side, 20-plus cars deep. Green flag is in the air. Garrett Moon's going to run away with the advantage right now, getting a huge push from the 54 of Conklin, but here comes Conklin 3 wide. Almost looked like the 2016 Homestead final restart there for a second. Thankfully, everybody gets through turns 1 and 2 okay up here in the top 5. That's a huge advantage for Means now as he gets to pull up in front of that 84 machine of Quentin Warman, and they're still dicey for position further in the pack.
Conklin had a serious wiggle coming off turn 2, and he's getting ganged up on. I know that's a term I've been saying a lot, but he got passed by the 7. Almost a couple of his teammates got around him off turn 2 as he's in the middle 3 wide.
Conklin just about sliding up into the door. The 7 machine of Clayton Hoffman as they come down the front straightaway. Everybody gets to walk away from it okay, though. And here comes Roman. First time all night we've seen him really push the envelope on that outside line. What's he going to be able to make stick out of it?
And these guys are keeping it so close.
And watching all this transpire in the back, we got a battle shaking up for the lead. Garrett Means to the outside. Quentin Warman. Warman wants to get up here to the front, though. A little bit of contact into turn number 3. Everything's going to be okay, though. Dead heat out of turn number 4. Drag race with Mains getting the advantage with that little bit of outside line momentum. Back into 1. Huge dive into the corner from Warman. Not going to be able to make it stick. Has to roll out of it to keep from turning his teammate around. Still a drag race down the straightaway. These two are just gridlocked next to each other right now, and here comes Clayton Hoffman into the picture. Is he going to try and send it up against the top line and be a hero here?
No, but Conklin just put a slider, try to get himself back up to 4th place, up against a guy we haven't really talked about a whole lot, Pedro Palladino, up in the top 5 in this 24 machine for Team Conti. He was up in the 4th spot as he just got passed by Conklin. Now Conklin going to make work with Clayton Hoffman.
Conklin
not too easy. They made contact for sure.
Conklin into the door coming out of turn number 2. But it's not going to hurt that 7 machine of Hoffman. Hoffman's going to keep going. Conklin's going to lose a little bit of momentum, but here he comes fighting back on the bottom here through 3 and 4. Drag race down the straightaway. Huge push from the 24 machine behind him. Pedro Palladino going to give the 7 a shot, pushing him into turn number 1, and it's going to clear the 54 of Conklin. And look who is in the picture. From the tail end of the field with a torn-up fender.
Who else?
22 machine of Jose Salas. What did it take him? About 5 laps to get back up here into the top 10. politics about it around him. I don't really know much about the guy, but I'll tell you what, man, if you're looking for somebody put him in something a little bit faster and see what he does. Do you see him up there now in the picture? Tommy Gossett behind him too. Gossett with a slow crawl through the field tonight, but like we saw last week, taking it easy at the front half of the race, paying dividends for that 80 machine of Tommy Gossett. He's up here in 8th place. So you see Solace all the way up against that fence, man. Just the confidence you have to have in yourself to be able to make that work. I cannot get over it. And now he's going to switch it up, go down to the bottom and try and get by Roman. Things calm down up here at the lead for the time being. As Garrett Maines giving a taste of what we saw Monday night. Single follow through the front half of the field. 22 machine dives down to the inside of Roman again. Warman going to give a huge shot to the back bumper of the one machine of Garrett Maines into turn number 1. Trying to push him off center, make him stick up there on that outside line, trying to get him to burn off those tires a little bit. But at the same time, I just feel like it's impossible to do, man. Seems like he can run any part of this track. Garrett Maines will be able to find a way to save that extra 10% of tires at the end of a run.
Palladino to the inside for 3rd place. Ooh, but he gets sideways. Very sideways off turn 4.
3 wide on the front straightaway now, though. It's going to open up the door. Here comes Roman to the bottom and Conklin to the top. And it might end up being 4 wide if Jose Salas has anything to say about it. God, what a huge run that 22 machine got that time. Conklin going to get the 2-for-1 special. They're going to move up in front of that 24 machine of Pedro Palladino. Here comes Salas with a switchover coming out of turn number 4, down to the bottom, pulling a side draft on the left rear quarter of that 95 machine of Roman, and it's going to give him the opportunity to slide it down into turn number 1 and take the spot away.
Been picking him off one by one. Like, I've just been so impressed with Salas.
It's incredible that he's able to make it work that consistently, as we see another battle right now. Roger Pierce to the inside of Derek Heitman. These guys run a little bit deeper in the pack.
I've been getting a push from Baldridge. He's going to try to get on the outside of Pierce. Oh no, he's going to go back down.
And I got to give a tip of the hat to Johnny Baldridge. Teammate, so never mind, I'll get back to that later. Side by side for the lead. Here comes Warman down to the inside of Garrett Maines. I just don't think you're going to be able to get it done on the bottom, though, unless you're able to get a really good run off the corner from the top and slide job into turn number 1. It just feels like that bottom line is kind of a futile attempt. This is about to go 3 wide as Conklin sees a hole. Conklin going to dive it down to the bottom, the inside of that 7 machine of Clayton Hoffman. And this is an unfortunate stretch for Conklin because he keeps getting himself in position to start making work on these top 2. And as soon as he gets there and gets settled in, ready to make some kind of a move, somebody just rips the fence around him.
Palladino got the wall off 4.
Yeah, Palladino hitting way above his weight class right now, sitting there in that 24 machine right now in the 5th position. Really good run for him tonight. Same thing goes for Salas, the 21st seed in this race. Sitting there in that top 5, and man, just putting on such a cool performance to watch. A little bit behind him, you got Cutlip working himself into the picture. That neon green number 5 machine. Where's that Dayglow yellow? Man, it gets tricky to tell sometimes. I think that's Dayglow yellow.
I call it Menard yellow, usually.
Sinus, baby snot yellow. That's the color to go with. No, yeah, our other commentator, Austin Esser, would say it's purple. But either way, back down to the inside, coming into turn number 1, that 84 machine on Warman, trying again, getting a little bit closer, getting into the door of that one machine of Garrett Maines. And he's just not able to carry the momentum that he needs. He's got to go to the top if he wants to make it work. He's got to just throw caution to the wind and send it around the outside. Look our way through the field, and 3 wide, almost 4 wide battle shaking up. See the 79 machine of Shane Davis all the way up against the fence through 1 and 2. Huge momentum down the back straightaway, but nowhere to go because the 19 cars will get right up in front of them. This is the Hornets' Nest. This is the place nobody wants to be, man. You don't want to be that deep in the field, fighting this hard this late in the race.
19 car. This is one of the cars that we saw sideways earlier.
Yeah, with huge damage at that, too. Really good recovery for him this evening. Whitendorf doing everything he can to bring home a good performance. Started this thing up behind the 8 ball and working back through. Here you go. You see Solis Gossett trying to pull a slide job on Solis. Solis not going to lift. They're both going to go up into the fence. But it's working out for Gossett, though, because he's got the advantage. He trapped that 22 machine behind him.
The wall really pulled him in that time.
Yeah. Well, once you hit it the first time, you know, we heard Garrett Maines talk about it at, I want to say Chicago. You hit that wall on the right side, it superheats those tires. And it's really difficult to get those tires back down to temp. Especially when you're just going to go right back into the next corner, do the same thing that you did, you know, the corner before, trying to run that top. Because it has the highest load area on the racetrack. Here you go. You see Tommy Gossett running that outside line again, right up against the fence, trying to get the advantage over his teammate, Sean Conklin. Gossett from 0 to absolute hero in the past 25 laps. Great performance by him tonight. See him down on the inside here through 3 and 4, trying to pull that quarter panel back for a side draft. Not going to get it. There he goes. Got it right there. Going to dive back down to the bottom of the track here to try and get by Conklin. But it's no easy task getting by that 54 machine as he's going to hold stout on that outside line. Oh, Gossett about wrecked it there.
Great save, but he's going to lose a few spots. Going to get passed by Cutlip in the 5.
Tried to throw a block on Cutlip, didn't quite work. Cutlip was already there. Cutlip going to run that bottom line, but here you go. Tommy Gossett showing what that outside line's about and showing what that Ryco performance machine's all about too. There's a reason why they've been holding down that top 5 for a majority of this race. But Cutlip going to get the advantage here through 1 and 2. Tommy going to try and get the crossover into 3 and 4. Tommy going to work the bottom here. Try to pull a slide jump, but the caution's out. Huge crash. Looks like Alex Murray and Pedro Oliveira. God, where's my head? Got sunburn, apparently. Where did the 33 come from? The 19's caught in it too. That was a jump scare. Sorry about that, guys. I mean, Halloween right around the corner, but huge loose through 1 and 2 for Oliveira. And right up into the 19 of Whitendorf, who I was just praising.
Trying to see where the 10. Ooh.
My God, the 22 just didn't lift.
He must have. I wonder if there's still a caution light on the backstretch, so he probably didn't see it. I'm kind of curious, because he.
On board
he
with
just
Murray
flew right
here.
into that.
Look. I'm gonna be real here. Let me dust off the soapbox. If you see smoke and a car spun out and the caution lights are on, lift. This is absolute arca break right here. Because the caution's absolutely out already.
Redline said all gas, no brakes. No kidding.
Yeah, I gotta. Been watching too much Days of Thunder. That's all I can think. And we saw how it worked out for Cole Trickle. He got to sit out for half a season.
Damn.
All right. All right, I got to calm down the inner Brett Griffin. Garrett Maines right now leading them out of pit road here. Not much of a shakeup at the front. Quentin Warman still in second place. Pedro Palladino up to third now. And Sean Conklin, fourth place, which is going to benefit Conklin, I feel, because he's going to be up on that outside line. If he can get a good push to the back of that 84 machine of Warman, I feel like he's probably going to try and send it 3 wide. Just look at the conditions now, 77 degrees, track temp up to 85 degrees. Not much change there from earlier in the event. Now here, this is that point in the race, man. We got a late race caution. Gonna go green with under 10 laps to go. You're about to see, about to get a crash course experience, Curtis. I hope you're sitting down for this. And why we don't often run NiS.
Sorry, was I supposed to be sitting down?
I don't know. I don't know what the right position is for this. Because we've got a bad fast track with a ton of grip, a really competitive field, a handful of laps, and one guy's going to take home all the glory this evening. The bad thing is, though, there's about 29 guys on the lead lap. Each one of those is going to do everything they possibly can to get themselves up into the position to walk away with it. Now, is that a spin on the front straightaway here? Yeah, somebody looped it on the front stretch here. Chance we can pull a replay there? It looked like it was one of the Conti machines.
All hill. Okay, Lotto suddenly slowed down.
All right, here we are. There's Heikman right there. Paul Hill. A lot of... Okay, all right, I thought somebody got turned on the yellow. That's just one of those deals where Baldridge kind of slowed down a little bit. Gulata slowed down a little more aggressively, trying not to get into him, and guy behind him just spun it to keep it off him. But pace car making hopefully the final dive down pit road here for the evening as Garrett Maines and Quentin Warman lead us into the restart zone. Huge launch for Garrett Maines. Going to pull him out of car link, going to get him clear with second place Quentin Warman as they come down to turn number 1. As a tough break for Sean Conklin, because now he doesn't have the option of racing these guys side by side into the corner. He's got to go out there and work for it now. And oh, we got a car around. Huge save for DeCiani. Here comes Solace ripping that fence like we've seen so many times before tonight. Up there in the Harry Gant line, knocking the marbles off the track. Moving himself back up here into the top 10, 7th place. And I can tell you, with this short run, that car's going to keep getting closer and closer to the front of this pack. No need to worry about tires now.
All game on from here.
Though. Quentin Warman taking a peek down to the inside of Garrett Maines coming into turn number 3. Not able to get anything to materialize, though. It's going to run the middle to try and build that momentum up. see Sauce catch the fence a little bit there in 3 and 4. At some point, the gloves are going to come off here at the front of this field, though. And look at the 24 doing the same thing. Ripping about an inch off the fence. Huge run down the back straightaway for Pedro Palladino. It's such a huge run for him tonight. Been such an unfortunate season. Now he's up here fighting with a chance to win the Friday night NiS. Presented by Ryco Performance.
Had a great exit off 4, but not a whole lot he could really do as he had to check up for the car in front of him. As Conklin now goes to the outside.
Conklin now moving up to the top line of the track, knowing that if he stays in line with the 2 in front of him, he's not going to have an opportunity.
Yeah, but look at Cutlip now in the top 5.
Yeah, Cutlip with a really good performance, really flicking it on here at the end of this thing. We come to the line here, we'll be taking 6 laps to go. Main's very much in charge of it still, with a 1/10 of a second advantage over second place Warman. Warman going to try to take a peek to that outside line, keep clean air to that front splitter, try to build that momentum up. But Maines is doing such an incredible job working that bottom line to his advantage, using the shorter diameter of this racetrack to really hammer that apex and get a good run out of the corner. I don't think they got anything for Garrett right now, personally. We see Johnson up here battling with Clayton Hoffman. It's a battle for 8th place. A really good run out of Johnson tonight. Something about those Johnsons in Homestead.
Tell me about it. No, but I've been watching Johnson. He's been kind of riding around the top lane, just kind of following Solis's tire tracks ever since this restart, and it's been working for him.
Absolutely. These guys have had 131 laps of trying to follow the same line that the Ryco guys up there at the front of the pack are running, and it's not worked out for any of them. Find the guy that's doing something different and try what he's trying and see if you can do it a little bit better than him. It's the only opportunity you got if you don't have as stout of a hot rod, but right now that 84
got
machine,
a nose under him.
Yep, Warman nose down to the bottom of Garrett Maines, but Maines going to get the advantage coming out turn number 4. What's Warman going to do here in 1? Is he going to send it up top? That's what I'd be trying. But then again, I'm up here in the booth for a reason.
You and
Warman
me both.
going to run that middle line, try to keep clean air to the nose. Maines still so strong on that inside, though. Nothing that Warman can do as they come down the back straightaway to turn number 3. Coming out of turn number 4, 2 laps left on the board. Garrett Maines leading him to the line. Warman closing in ever so slightly, but not enough as they come down to turn number 1. Maines going to use a little bit of a higher arc into the corner to try and build some launch off of onto the straightaway. Going to work out in his favor here. He's a way better 1 and 2 than Quentin Warman. Now back into 3. Garrett Maines still in control of this field. Not as good a corner for him there. Looks a little loose coming out turn number 4. Here comes Warman right back to the rear bumper. White flag is in the air as they come down into turn number 1. Can Garrett Maines keep Quentin Warman at bay? A race where it looked like he wasn't going to be the best car. A race that looked like it's going to be dominated by Sean Conklin. 1 lap to go. Garrett Maines has found his way from 16th position, one of the biggest movers of the race, to get up here to the lead. And here comes Warman with a push to the rear bumper into 3. Still shoving him, but Garrett Maines going to get the power down, keep the thing straight out of turn number 4. They can't take it from him now. Garrett Maines is going to win at Homestead. What a race, man. What a race and what a finish and what a drive by Garrett Maines. All came down to 1 restart. Conklin had this thing in the bag. But a mid-race restart, a little bit of shake-up on pit road gives this thing to Garrett Maines, and one heck of a drive to maintain that lead as he was under so much pressure from Quentin Warman in second. And you know Ken Byron's smiling, man. Ryco 1-2-3 tonight. All of his cars look good this evening.
Bring it down here. It's been a masterful display by Mains.
Such a great run, and such I'm sure this is going to be a heartbreak for Conklin. Either way, well, Garrett Means burns it down, and we catch our breaths after that finish. We're going to send it to a quick word for our sponsors, then we'll be back with interviews and race results on the Friday night Ryco Performance Top Split. And welcome back to the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split. Sitting here looking at the official results for this evening's event. Race winner, Garrett Mains, followed by Quentin Warman, Sean Conklin in third. Fourth is going to go to Jonathan Cutlip, followed by Nicholas Roman in fifth. Sixth is going to be Cody B. Johnson, with Jose Salas' amazing performance. Going to bring him a seventh place position, with Clayton Hoffman in eighth. J.R. Barbarema going to sneak himself up into a ninth place finish, with Shane Davis out of nowhere to 10th.
And then that'll be your top 10. So 11th will be Patrick Gitter in the number 4. Trevor Baxter and Tommy Gossett were out of battle for 12th, and they were both sledding across the line. They will get 12th and 13th. Derek Heitman in 14th. Maggie McGuire in the number 20 machine will get 15th. Johnny Baldridge in the the 17 or the 25, depending on how you look at it, will get 16th. Joseph Galata comes back to finish 17th. Matt DiCiani will finish 18th. Thomas Lloyd and James R. Houghton will round out the top 20. And now here comes the part where I try to pronounce some of these other names that I'm not at all familiar with. Matt Cox, Jacob Klein. Okay, I'll let you take it on then.
My bad. All right, so
That's all right.
In 21st place, we got Matt Cox, followed by Jacob Klein. Miller Bonds in 23rd. 24th is going to go to Sean Anderson with Alan Pajari in 25th. 26th is going to go to John Whitendorf with Pedro Palladino in 27th. Roger Pierce, 29th. Paul Hill's going to bring it home 28th, followed by Nicholas Padovich in 30th. 32nd is going to go, 31st is going to go to Pedro Oliveira. 32nd is going to go to Alex Murray, and rounding out your 33 car field tonight, Adam Benefiel. Well, now we've gotten to that night where we get to sit here and do some interviews. You ready for this, Curtis? We'll start out right here.
I am not. This is the one thing that I don't know how to do. So
it's all right,
sure,
man. You got this.
Well, before we do that, though, I want to bring up Pedro Palladino. He was on track to get a 4th place finish, and he ended up going sideways in turn 3. So from 4th to 27th, that's a.
We'll bring the replay up here. Imagine. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be now or possibly after the interview. Here's the replay.
He took a massive hit here between him and Cutlip. We're going at it for 4th place, and boom.
That right there, that's two guys going for the same real estate. That's also one of those moments where you gotta hope to God that the guy in the 24 machine didn't have a motion rig, because he's probably in the floor right now. If he does. Tough break for Pedro Palladino. That's such a great race, but we're gonna move it on here to our interviews, starting with our third place finisher tonight. And an unfortunate turn of events for a dominating performance. We're sitting here with Sean Conklin right now, P3 on the evening. Sean, how's it feel, man? It feels like you got the thing stolen from you by a.
It
by a
does.
time clock.
It does. Well, it wasn't even the caution. It was me not knowing that Clayton Hoffman was gonna come out the pits and be the leader. So I was focused on not putting Roger a lap down, because I didn't want to do that to him. But then I didn't realize that Clayton Hoffman was coming out the pits, and then he got the lead, and that just messed everything up. I just couldn't control the race from there. We fell back like pretty far, had to work our way back up, and just had nothing in that third place dirty air. But I don't know, I'm really proud of the earlier parts of the race. Felt like I put on a new strategy tonight, just try to keep the lead, and we did that. We were able to save our tires pretty good too, and led a bunch of laps, and that's better than any of the races that I've done this week. So definitely an improvement, and yeah, definitely stinks to get that one stolen, because definitely feel like I had that in the bag if I could just control the race.
Yeah, man, you whatever you did tonight, you definitely need to bring it back next week and then on, because that is the best performance on a mile and a half I think I've seen out of you since I've been up here in the booth. That was something else. I thought you were going to run away from the field. You looked like Garrett up there for a minute. I had to squint to make sure I had the car number right.
Yeah, we were pulling away on that long run, and then we got the caution. It would have been interesting to see how pit stops would have played out, but just either way, I think we still had it when that caution came out. We just needed to execute and be more aware that there's cars on pit road coming out that are gonna steal the lead. So yeah, that kind of screwed us over, but it's all right. Move on to the next race and try again.
Yeah, it's easy to kind of get shell shocked a little bit too, because I mean, y'all had the field locked down all night. Like Ken, obviously, like you guys all put in some work this week. Moving on, man. Stings about the third place finish, but I'm sure you got people you want to thank for this one. Still a great performance nonetheless, and such a dominating one at that. So, who all we got on the shout out list this evening?
Yeah, just obviously everybody at Ryco. Worked a lot on this set. Took a little bit to figure it out, but we got it figured out pretty quickly as always. And yeah, just once again, kind of stinks, but also just really proud of the performance at the beginning of the race, and just knowing what we could have gotten there.
Well, man, thanks for coming up here and talking to us tonight, and looking forward to hopefully seeing you Monday night after the SOFs.
Thank you.
All right, and that was the Conky Donkey. Now moving it over to Curtis White. He will be interviewing second place Quentin Warman.
Call him the Conky Donkey.
I called him the Conky Donkey, but either way, here we are with Quentin Warman.
All right, we got our second place finisher, Quentin Warman. Now, I'm new at this, so bear with me. You got second place. You and Conklin, Maines, all your buddies at Ryco and your Halloween-themed cars. Definitely kind of spooking out the rest of the competition here tonight. Kind of nobody seemed like he had anything for you guys. Had a shot at Maines for the win, just didn't quite get it. Just walk me through your race and what more did you need there?
I started from the back for probably the first time in like forever. I don't know how long it's been since I've started from the back in an official race, but I was feeling a little frisky before this race, so I decided why not start from the back. And I had a lot more fun than the Wednesday one for sure doing that, because I was able to pass a lot of cars and work through the front. And then once I got to Garrett, I tried passing him like probably 10 plus times, but it's just there's so much grip that you can't do anything on the bottom, and it's like nearly impossible to get to the outside of someone when they have clean air. I tried moving him there at the end, but it wasn't enough. Sean almost got me there at the end too, because I lost so much momentum.
He definitely gave it her all in that last lap, just wasn't enough. Yeah, a good Good bounce back from where you started about 27th, so you definitely were on the march from the beginning to get up there with your teammates. I don't really know what else to ask. It seemed like, had a pretty good race there. Is anyone you want to shout out?
All the guys at Ryco for all the work they put in every single week to make the sets as good as they are. And I gotta thank Sean and Garrett for the good racing.
Really appreciate you guys putting on a show for us.
Well, that was our second place finisher, Quentin Warman, and a great performance out of him this evening. Now, moving him up into the booth, the man, the myth, the legend, and the winner, Garrett Maines. Man, Garrett, talk me through that last lap, because I know you had to have been sweating. When you went down to turn number 3, you looked up in that mirror and you felt that wheel jerk a little bit, and you realized that Quentin Warman had those back tires lifted pretty much absolutely off the ground.
Oh, I knew it was coming. I mean, I tried to shorten up the corner with him so he couldn't get to my inside or to my left rear quarter, but I don't know, man. I made a bad pit adjustment on like 35 to go or whatever, and just was literally skimboarding through the whole corner. It was awful. It was too tight, and then as soon as I got to the gas, it was like snapping loose because I was hitting the racetrack. So just went too far and was paying for it. But as the run progressed, I was like, okay, I think I got this. And then we come down pit road for the 2 tires at the end of the run, after that caution, and it just made it so much worse. Like, I could have done so many things in the pits to make the car handle just a little bit better, and I did none of them. So my problems continued, and I thought he was gonna have a shot at me. The longer we went, it was a little bit better, but I just couldn't really get away from him. And I thought if he'd rip the top there, he might have an even better shot at me. But thankfully, I was able to get a decent run off of turn 2. And I mean, I still thought he was gonna have me in 3, but obviously we came out on the better end of that. And I mean, that's also thank you to him for not shipping me. He had the control there to do what needed to be done if that was the way he wanted to do it, but he kept it clean and gave me a chance.
So how did you every week it feels like we're talking about you qualifying and the top 3, top 5. How did it feel starting in the hornet's nest this go around and working your way through, man? How did you get through there? Like, you went from 16th to 3rd in like 4 laps. How did you not kill the tires doing that?
I think a lot of people were probably being a little overly cautious, and I mean, I did have Clayton just picking through it with me, so we kind of went to the front together, and that's kind of the beauty at the start of the race when everybody knows that, hey, we got to chill a little bit, we got to get our tires 60 laps. It's like, yeah, but I don't want to be 16th, so it's a little easier to pick through that. But lesson learned: don't hit the wall on your qualifying lap. Just got a little bit too close, and I was literally finishing up a coaching session right before the race and did not warm up, and well, I warmed up the right side on the fence, that's for sure.
Yeah, caught a glimpse of that, but 2 weeks left in the NiS season. How you feeling for your shots next? How you feeling about Martinsville, man? We gonna see you there?
Oh, that's my favorite track, and this will actually be the first year that I can say you will see me there. I usually miss it because I'm at the track, but not this year. So I will be hopefully running at least the 2 big ones on Wednesday and Friday. So I'm hoping to potentially not lock it up, but lock down the points championship. It's really close, but I think that's a good track for me, and I'm hoping to get a good finish.
Well, heck yeah, man. Well, I think I can recite the last bit myself. FGR Excel, MCU Body, Ryco Performance. Ken Byron did a great job with the set. Oh, wait, I gotta let you do this part. So who do you want to thank for this one tonight?
Also got to give a shout out to Linux, and you didn't really miss any, so I guess that's a good thing.
Looking forward to seeing you back in here Monday night, man. Congrats on the win, dude. And man, you got lucky with that one, but sometimes it's good to be both good and lucky, I suppose. So good stuff tonight. Congrats, and looking forward to seeing you next week.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. All right, well, that will conclude the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split. I've been Sheldon Atkinson up here in the booth with Curtis White and our ever so wonderful, never irritable producer, Austin Derbyshire. Looking forward to seeing you guys again Monday night, and oh heck, I think we've dotted all the T's and crossed hang on, no, whoops. Crossing on the T's and dotting the I's. Curtis, how'd you feel about your first time in here?
Oh man, I felt like a fish out of water. I mean, I've done these kind of not on iRacing, but I've done broadcasts before. But to kind of do this at such late notice, I felt kind of lost. But eventually, I got it figured out. It helped that the racing was as fantastic as it was. That usually makes things a lot easier, a lot more fun. So shout out to everyone that was in this race. I mean, they're the ones that put on the show for us, so they deserve the shout out.
They absolutely do. And either way, I think that wraps everything up for tonight. Like I said, I've been Sheldon Atkins, Curtis White, Austin Derbyshire. At this point, I guess we're out. Thanks for watching, guys.